सुभानअल्लाह सुभानअल्लाह शुक्रिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद। अपने सेशन का आगाज कुछ जिक्र के साथ करेंगे। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा, अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा, अल वाहिदुल क़हार मदद फरमा, अल वाहिदुल क़हार मदद फरमा, अल हय्युल क़य्यूम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा, अल हय्युल क़य्यूम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। मौलाना शाह करीम हुसैनी हाजिमा मदद फरमा, मदद फरमा। आमीन इलाही आमीन। Once again, Yali Madad to all friends and welcome to our session today. Today we are going to embark on a new journey of talking about Gnan, and I truly first would like to say thank you to those friends who were consistently requesting to talk about Gnans. So here at last, I was able to muster some courage with your prayers to talk about Braham Prakash. It is called Granth because it has it's a long format Gnan. It has 150 verses. However, we will talk about some selected verses and we will have series of sessions. And I would like to start by saying that Ismaili Tariqa is dynamic. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah has called us that we are Ibnul Waqt, children of time. In today's time, we are blessed with fresh knowledge, Tawili knowledge. And Ginans are our very old tradition. So what we are hoping to do is to learn and understand our Ginans in the light of fresh Tawili knowledge. There is a beautiful story of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. Just for fun, I would like to share that story. That when we say that we are Ibnul Waqt, what does that mean? Through a very story, a worldly story. It was a time in Pakistan when it was Indo-Pak at that time, and there was meetings going on for Muslim League in Aligarh University, and there were meetings being held between the British and the Muslims. And after one of the meeting or two meetings, the group of Muslim people, they complained. They said that we feel disrespected because our values and traditions are not given respect to, and we do not like to eat with these people because they eat sugar and they drink alcohol. We don't feel, we feel disrespected. And now Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he really gets worried because he says these are very orthodox Maulvi types of people. How are we going to proceed with such an important agenda to open up this university and then work on the Muslim League if we cannot have functional meetings? So he's now very worried. He goes to Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah seeking help. He says, what do I do? How do I resolve this? Imam says, it's very easy, very simple. And then Imam gives him instructions. And Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan smiles when he listens to Imam. And he exactly does what Mullah had told him. So when this meeting is held, all the people are coming. Now, the British people, when they are coming, they are directed to a room where there's a dining table, chair, and all the food is displayed on the big table, and there's a feast. People come and they eat and they drink. Now, for Muslim, they were directed to a room where on the floor there was a white chadar. And on the white chadar, there's a plate on which there is some dry fruit, especially dates, and some water. And then when Muslim comes in, they sit down on this on the floor on the white sheet, and now they have in front of them just dry fruits. And they look at those British people, and they're enjoying eating, and they have so many variety of foods and whatnot. And they complained that why this difference? And Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan exactly replies the way Imam had guided him. He says, this is the traditions of our Prophet. They used to sit down on the floor, eat less than their appetite, just dried fruit and drink water. You want it to be respected according to the culture of the past, tradition of the past. So this is what it is. And they learned, they realized what they were saying, what they were doing. So next time they stayed quiet. Why am I sharing this story? When we say that we are dynamic religion and we continue to grow and we are Ibnul Waqt, look at us today. We all are educated, we are prospering in Western worlds and doing so well just because of the guidance of the Imam. Now, when we talk of learning about our tariqah, Ginans are our beautiful tradition. I love our Ginans. But when we study Ginan, discuss Ginans, and we try to look for the meaning of the Ginans in the time which was our past, then we are in a trouble. Therefore, this attempt of discussing Ginan is in the light of today's fresh knowledge. Our peers have taught us Ginans which are applicable in any time. But then we do need to let go of all those verses, let's say in Braham Prakash, which helped us at that time to relate to where we were, what we were doing, to be able to learn the Islamic religion. Today we have no limitation. We are Muslims and we follow Ismaili tariqah of Muslim. In the light of this understanding, we will continue to learn about Braham Prakash. And it is important too that we do that because today is the time of Zuhurat. Today is the time of Zuhurat. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah told us in his first farman that this is the end time. Now, how do we understand that this is the time of Zuhurat? This is the farman of speech of Maulana Hazir Imam actually. This is the speech Maulana Hazir Imam gave in the Parliament of Canada in the House of Commons chamber on 27 February 2014. And I've just bolded kind of few lines just to make a point. Imam is saying here, I was born into Muslim family linked by heredity to the Prophet Muhammad. The Ismaili Imamat is a supranatural entity representing the succession of the Imam since the time of Prophet. And Shia Muslims believed that the Prophet had designated his cousin and son-in-law Ali as his successor. Imam is announcing his imamat in front of the world. Imam is announcing his imamat in front of the world that he is Muslim and the faith leader of the Muslim community. We are all Muslim. Therefore, we have to understand whatever our peers have taught us. They were making us Muslim. So in the light of the fresh knowledge, Tawili understanding, we will learn about the Ginans, which are our beautiful tradition, in the light of fresh knowledge. And this is Maulana Hazim Imam's Farman, Vancouver, Canada, November 14th, 1978. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. And I will just read the bold part so we can relate to the point and continue to move on. Mola says, I would also like that the tradition and meaning of the Ginans should be maintained. That is our tradition and we love our tradition. And Imam says, it makes me very happy and proud. When the young girl had recited Farman and Imam is praising her, that it makes Imam very happy. We are not moving away from Ginan. We love our Ginans. Now, the difference is that Ginans are in different languages. We have Gujarati, Kutchi, Urdu, Brushiski, Persian Ginans. We are now pluristic Jamaat and we have varieties of Ginans. We may call it Qasida, Kalam, Nazam, Ginan, but they all are Ginans. And Imam also says, remember also that if you say your dua, there should not be one ayat in the dua which you do not understand, whose meaning is unclear to you. If it is unclear to you, then seek explanations. Do not refrain from seeking explanations of your dua where you fail to understand it. In the same Farman, Imam is talking about Quranic verses which are mentioned from Quran. So the point we are trying to make here is that we follow Imam's Farman with conviction, not with convenience. What we don't know, we attempt to learn. And what we know, we continue to dive deep to learn it more better, in a more better way. All right, so let's see. So this is the first verse of Braham Prakash, beautiful, beautiful Granth. And in the first verse, our peer is saying, Sata Shabad hai Guru Hamara, Taku Lakhe Nayo Sansara. The true word, holy word, or Isme Azam is my guide, or remover of darkness. The world at large does not have much regard for it. Then there's another translation which is given, variant, the true word is our guide, which is not perceived by this world. Both the translations are from Smiley Heritage site, and we can see how it has been translated in two different ways. We will take keywords and continue to discuss and understand this beautiful verse when P says, Sata Shabad hai Guru Hamara, Taku Lakhe Nayo Sansara. So the first word, which is Sata Shabad, the true word, which is Isme Azam. And our Pir is saying that our Isme Azam is our Guru. Now let us see how we have been understanding Isme Azam. We all have been saying Isme Azam is a word. For example, let's say Ya Ali. Ya Ali is a word. Within this word, though it is a word, it is a lafzi. Ism means name, lafz means word. It's a lafzi ism. But within this lafzi ism, there is Isme Zat. Zat meaning the personality. So though in front of us, this is a simple word, Ya Ali, but within this word, there is a personality. Imam in his Farman has also given us the example of Isme Azam as a very valuable jewelry. In a worldly sense, it is a jewelry. Where do people keep their jewelry? Very safe, hidden, protected, treasured, precious. Isme Azam is such a word which is precious, which is very valuable. We never get separated from that beautiful Isme Azam, from that name. We keep it always protected with us because it is so valuable. It is also given as an example as seed. Very strangely, when we take the example of seed, when we look at the seed, it is very small, it is nothing. But when that seed is planted into the ground and it is nourished, meaning it is watered, the sunlight is there, then slowly we will see a couple, a plant growing, and then years and years and years of nurturing, caring, it will become a tree. But in the beginning, it was just a seed. When we look at the seed, when we look at the word, we may not see the value of it as it is ought to be seen. And that is why our peers have taught us in Ginan so many Ginans about Isme Azam, about Ibadat. So Isme Azam has also been taken as an example of seed. Then we've also heard in Baitul Khal Farman of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, may our souls be sacrificed to this Imam. Imam says that I give you this name, nurture it as if it is your child. Now, if we are parents, and we do know when we have children, how hard work we have to put in to take care of our children. When we take example of an animal child, any animal, within few minutes, those, calf or whatever example you want to take, they'll stand up, they'll start walking, and they'll find ways to feed themselves. They'll become independent pretty fast, within few minutes. They know where to go, how to feed. But when we take the example of a human child, that example doesn't apply. Human child does need nourishment, care, nurturing, literally for so many years. A human child is very dependent. The point here, the concept here which we are taking is when we have this Isme Azam, it does need that kind of nurturing and care, as if it is a child who needs care for 24 hours constantly, consistently. Then only we will see child healthily, he's healthy and growing. So that is another example of thinking in our mind how to value this beautiful word. Imam has also said that when you get Isme Azam, within that word, Imam himself is encompassed in that word. The way we just learned this verse, Sata Shabad Hai Guru Hamara. In front of us, it is just a word, but it is actually our Guru. And if we were to ask each other, who is our Guru is our Imam. Now, how can this word be Imam? But within this word is such a majiza in this word that the Noor of the Imam is within this word. Noor of the Imam is within this word. So when we look at the word Imam, Quran actually talks about Imam 12 times. But if you were to study those 12 verses, you will realize you need to learn very many more verses to truly understand how those 12 verses make sense to you. In order for those 12 verses to make sense to you, you have to read so many verses. Again, we are talking about Ism Azam. The Noor of Imam is in that word. In order for us to truly understand, value, recognize the miracles hidden in that word, we have to not only just focus on when Imam says that my Noor is in that word. If we were to just study one word in Quran, it will take us to study so many verses. Then Imam also says that that word is my Noor. Now, when we take the example of Noor and let's start going, into the Quran again, there are 49 references of Noor. How strange is that? Our Imam, Shah Karim, is the 49th Imam. And there are 49 references of Noor in Quran. Now, it didn't happen accidentally. There's a huge secret behind it. And that secret is hidden in this word, which is Ism Azam. Ism Azam is also taken into context in the example of universe. Maula Ali says that you think of yourself as a small being, but the whole universe is within you. Now, how is that universe within us? In the form of that name, that living name. No one can recognize that universe if they have not worked on that name, which is given to us with love and affection by our Imam. If we do not nurture that word, our personal world will never be lit. We will never know how a universe is within ourselves. So when we look at outside, the whole universe is there. And Hazimam in Baitul Khayal Farman says that if you think of him as this universe, he's above this universe. And then he says, if you think of universes, he's above all those universes. Now, when Maula Ali says that there's a universe within yourself and outside too. Now, how is it related to Ism Azam? Ism Azam is like a key to that universe. But that key has to be used. The right locks have to be open to unfold the miracles of the personal world, to recognize universe within our being. Truly, this Ism Azam is a majiza. It's a very strong, powerful miracle of Imam. Miracle of Imam is that Imam is the one who can take us to salvation. हमारी निजात जो है वो इमाम ही के जरिए से है. हमारी निजात जो मुमकिन है वो इमाम ही के जरिए से है. Now, how can we get to that nijat? That nijat is possible through his majiza. What is his majiza? He gives us that majiza in the form of Ism Azam. Sat Shabad hai Guru Hamara. Now, we also realize that whenever we are trying to do bandagi, shaitan is after us, nafs amara is after us, and we are not able to do bandagi. Quran calls Ism Azam as Asa, staff, Musa ki lakdi, like a cane. And we will discuss the story of Musa in further detail. But just to make a point here that when we think that carnal soul is so strong, so powerful, शैतान की इतनी बाजियां हैं, उसके सामने, उसके अपोजिट में कुरान में ये कहा जाता है कि ये जो केन है ये इसमें आजम की तरह है। मूसा की कहानी में when Musa was facing all the powerful magician and Musa was like, how I'm going to fight with this magician? I'm not a magician. मैं जादूगर तो नहीं हूं, मैं कैसे मुकाबला करूंगा? What does Allah tell him? Just throw your staff in front of them. What was Musa's staff? It was Musa's Isme Azam. Again, when we don't realize the power, I don't know what word to use to say how powerful is our Isme Azam. Until we don't know, we will never witness the powers of the Isme Azam. Isme Azam is so powerful. No carnal soul, no shaitan ki bazi can stand in front of this name. This name is so powerful. Now in Quran, it says, Yasulu man fis samawati wal ardi kulla yawmin huwa fishan. Of him seeks every creature in the heavens and on earth every day in new splendor does he shine. हर दिन वो एक नई शान में है. हर दिन वो एक नई शान में है. किसकी शान की बात हो रही है? इमाम की शान की बात हो रही है. It is Imam. It is a new day. It is a new beginning. It is a new year, like we celebrate Nowruz. It is a new cycle. In our tariqa, we believe in cycle. So it is a new beginning, new day, Nay Shan. Now, when we look at this beautiful verse from Quran, chapter 55, verse 29, for a moment as salik, every day is a new day. Every day that Isme Azam has a new shan. For who? For Momin Salik. For a Momin Salik who meets the conditions and does do the ibadat, what does he do? Every day in his batin, in his personal world, that Momin is opening the locks of his alame shaksi. And what does he witness? He sees majizat of Imam. Every day it is a new day for that Momin Salik. That is the beauty of Isme Azam. For that Momin Salik, nothing is hidden. There is no way, because every day he is able to enter into new day, new cycle, new beginning. Let it be of past or let it be of future. Every day is a new day. So when we think of a time period, let's say cycle of Prophet Muhammad. During the time of Prophet Muhammad, he was the Noor-e Mujassam. He used to go to Gar Hira, he used to do ibadat. When he completed his Isme Azam, Jibrail came to him. And what did he say to him? Ikra bismikal rabbikal lazi. Read by the name of your God. And Prophet Muhammad says, what you are telling me, I don't know how to read. That reading was the reading of Ruhaniyat. Now, very interestingly, when we look at that day today, we see Maula Ali is also in that time, who is the Asas Imam. And he is the Imam, the first Imam of that cycle. He is Noor, he is Imam. Prophet Muhammad is Natik. But then we see Panchtane Pak. The Noor, does it stop there? No. Then we hear about Salman Farsi, who Prophet says that he is from Ahl Bayt. All these exalted personalities, when we talk about them, the distinct characteristic for them was that they were mala mal in the daulat of Isme Azam, in the treasure of Isme Azam. They knew all the secrets and the beauty of Isme Azam through their riyazat and ibadat. And it was not limited to Salman Farsi. If we were to pick up the books of history, were there more Mu'minins who had completed the Isme Azam, had come close to the light? We hear very many names. Very important names are, we do know Panchtane Pak, Bibi Fatima, Hassan and Hussein, but outside the Panchtane Pak, we hear the name of Salman Farsi, Migdad, Abu Zar Ghaffari, Umar bin Yasir. All these personalities, they were known, it is written, other than the Ahl Bayt, that they had also completed their Nur. How did they do that? Sat Shabad hai Guru Hamara. Sirat al-Mustaqim is same. It is the same path. If one walks on that path, they will get to the secret of Imam, to the recognition of the Imam. These are now two different verses. Chapter 2, verse 18. Summun bukmun umyun fahum la yarjaun. Deaf, dumb, and blind. They will not come back. Quran says they are deaf, dumb, and blind. Now we do not see in humanity or even in Jamaat that there are very many deaf, dumb, and blind. Why would Allah say that? Those who do not walk on the path of knowing what is the Shata Shabad, how would they know? They, with their own free will, keep themselves deaf, dumb, and blind. Then another verse, which is chapter 17, verse 72. It says, but whoever has been blind in this world will be blind in the hereafter, and more astray from the right way, more astray, dur ka bhatka hua. So it is so important that those who choose to stay blind from the true knowledge, from the Isme Azam, they will never be able to recognize the hereafter. क़यामत क्या है उसको कभी नहीं जान पाएंगे, बल्कि उससे भी दूर के भटके हुए होंगे, दूर के भटके हुए होंगे. Now here one can ask, how come Isme Azam is going to help us in recognition? What happens with the Isme Azam when we complete in our heart? There's a desire to learn true knowledge. And there are two different ways of getting knowledge. Surely one is through reading books, listening to lectures. But then we do need to know about the example of Adam. Adam, who was mustajib, who was not as much as educated in the worldly sense, but he was Ashik-e-Iman. And in his batin, in his personal world, he was given ilme laduni. He was mustajib, and he was given all the tawili knowledge in his batin. And if he was mustajib, meaning that it is possible for any mu'min salik to walk on the path, meeting conditions, to be able to get to that status which Adam al-Sirindipi had. Adam al-Sirindipi, who was 7,000 years ago. He was very simpleton man, mustajib. Got the Isme Azam from Imam of that time. And he completed it in 40 nights, 40 mornings. When he completed it, what had happened to him? He was bestowed Imam's mercy in his personal world. So Alhamdulillah that we are learning this knowledge because we have actually been blessed due to the ibadat of Isme Azam to become a seeker of knowledge. It is the majiza of Isme Azam that our hearts are seeking knowledge. Now, few beautiful farameens of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah in relationships to different questions which normally being asked about Isme Azam. And sometimes we think that Imam has not given us knowledge, but every question we have, Imam has given the answer. So these farameens are actually in Roman Gujarati. So I'll just translate it roughly. Forgive me for my poor translation. I seek your permission, forgiveness beforehand. But these farameens we are discussing on Tuesday evenings, and we are having a blast to realize that Imam has talked about every possible question and has answered all these questions. So this is the first farman, Mumbai, January 11th, 1914. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Imam says that this work which you have done, this barakam, it is like jawahirat, jewelry. Even when you get the jawahirat, and if you don't get benefit out of it, then it is not that this name, this Isme Azam, had something lacking in it. Sometimes people say, oh, my Isme Azam doesn't work for me. The Isme Azam has no lackings in it. Imam says it is your own fault that this name does not work for you. Meaning that Momin Bhai or Behan, they are not meeting the conditions, the requirement which Imam has given to them. So Isme Azam is the name of Imam. Imam gives with his mercy. It is Maula's name. It should work for us. When it doesn't work, meaning that something we are not doing right. So we need to seek answers in our deeds, in our thoughts, in our actions, in our knowledge to find out what is it that we are lacking. In another farman of January 5th, 1912, Imam is saying, Ibadat evi karvi jem biji koi wat ma khayal no rakhu. Do not think of anything else. Make a habit of practicing, sitting in a practice that you don't think of anything. And try that just for 1 minute, Imam says. Do that just for 1 minute. When you conquer it in for 1 minute, in another farman, Imam says, do concentrate for 1 minute for 3-4 days. And after 3-4 days, when you have conquered the 1 minute, then sit for, after 4 days for 2 minutes, then 3 minutes. And that's how you continue to practice. Do practice to control your thoughts for that 1 minute, that 2 minutes, that 3 minutes. So Imam is not expecting us to immediately be able to do ibadat for whole 1 hour to concentrate. But minute by minute, we should be able to practice and do the ibadat. The Imam says saying that those who work hard to control their thoughts, who are able to keep their thoughts in control during the daytime, during the ibadat time, they don't think here and there, they are able to get their soul out of their body. It is very much possible for Mu'min to be able to bring their soul out. Mu'min's soul will go out during bandagi, travel around and come back. It is very much possible, and these are Imam's words. When Imam says, it is possible. In another farman, Imam is saying that there are very many who do zikr with their tongue. There are very many who do zikr with their heart. Both ways, if someone is their thoughts are going out, even if they're doing yali yali yali, but thoughts are outside. Even they're doing yali yali in their heart, but the thoughts are going outside, then you will not benefit. Tamne nuksani thashe. You will not benefit. Why? Though you are saying the name, recitation is going on, but if your thoughts are not controlled, you will not benefit from it. The Imam is saying another farman, Rajkot, February 20th, 1910. Imam says that during the time of Bandagi, you have to concentrate not on Imam's face. Many of us may not think or know that when we keep Maula's face in front of us, Imam says don't. Imam's dorwari is to keep the name. Let's say we say our Ismail Azam is Ya Ali. We have to continue to write or see that word in front of us. That is kind of the naqsh. We continue to look at that name, Ya Ali, 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 and then do the ibadat. That is the correct way. It is not right, according to Imam's farman, to look at his face. Oh, Mafi, I did not click here. Now, these are two faramins of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah and Haz Imam. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's farman of January 11th, 1914, Imam is talking about Paigambar's Miraj. That you have heard about Paigambar's Miraj. How did that happen, Imam says? Imam is asking us. It happened during the Ibadat time of Isme Azam, because he was concentrating on his Isme Azam. He was doing the way Ibadat is supposed to be done. What happened? His soul came out and traveled to the heavens, and he had this Miraj, which we all seek. Then Imam is saying that if you, very important farman, Imam is saying, te arite Miraj gaya hata. Paigambar, when he went to Miraj by doing the ibadat of Isme Azam. And if you are not able to do that because your amals are not pak, if our deeds are not pure, we are sinning, then Imam is saying, then you are not faithful to your own self, because you are doing the dushmani of your deen bhai, athwa iman barabar na hoye to tene faydo thashe nahi. If we have wrong or bad thoughts, ill thoughts about our brothers and sisters, we are not pure in our thoughts, in our heart, we have judgment, gossip, jealousy, whatever guna we are doing, this benefit, this tarakki, this progress which we are looking for, it will not happen. Tena karta to nindra kar bhi sari. Imam says, if you are sinning and sitting in ibadat and thinking that you are doing ibadat, you know what? It is better that you take rest, give rest to your body and take sleep. So Imam is saying that. Now this farman sounds very harsh, as if Imam is literally scolding us and saying, don't do bandagi because you are not being successful. Actually, Imam is not saying that. We are not understanding Imam's farman. Imam is telling us that we need to purify our deeds, because if we are not completing the prerequisites जो पहले हमें करना चाहिए इबादत से पहले, अगर वो नहीं किया है तब इबादत का फायदा होता नहीं है. So Imam is saying that if you are investing your time, नींद से उठ के इबादत में बैठते हो, मेहनत करते हो, तो पूरी मेहनत करो, बुराइयों से, गीबत से, गुनाह से दूर रहो, तो फायदा होगा. So Imam is not upset, he is just wanting us to progress and is giving us the prerequisites कि अपने दिमाग को, अपने ख्याल को बुराई से, गुनाह से दूर रखो. Now I have taken Haz Imam's farman. Now Haz Imam uses very different wordings in different language, but he's saying the same thing actually. Now this is Kenya, Uganda, Kigil, 1972's farman. Mullah is saying, I pray that those who practice bandagi get spiritual happiness and spiritual strength, so that you will be able to protect yourselves from materialism and prepare yourselves for life hereafter. दीन दुनिया में जो बैलेंस रखना है, वो इबादत के जरिए हम खुद ब खुद कर सकेंगे। इमाम का ये फरमाना है। दुनिया के अंदर जब बुराइयां हमारे दिमाग में आती है, उसको हम काबू नहीं कर सकते हैं। अगर हम इसमें आज़म की सही तरीके से इबादत करेंगे, मेहनत करेंगे, तो खुद ब खुद हमारे आमाल जो हैं पाक होंगे। हमारी मेहनत के साथ, मेहनत किस तरह से कि अपने आप को, अपनी नाड़ को तपासना है, अपने आप को पाक रखना है, बुराई से अपने आप को बचाना है। Those who join Baitul Khayal and seek to practice in Bandagi, if you fall asleep during Bandagi, it is not a sin. It isn't wrong. Neend bhi aa jaye during Bandagi, don't worry about it. It is okay. Because it is a blessing that you sat in Bandagi. But if someone is such that they are sinning during the day and they are waking up in Bandagi and sleeping, then according to the Farman, it is not benefiting. Hazimam is talking to someone who has a lot of pressures in life. In today's time, if we look at our youngsters, their life is very hectic. They have lived very life with lots of pressures and expectations. And if they are the ones keeping their deeds pure and they are working hard and they sit in Bandagi and they fall asleep, Imam is saying, please do not be guilty, do not be feeling bad. You woke up in Bandagi, you sat in Bandagi, you are blessed. You are surrounded by light. You are being blessed. Do not think you are in failure. So that is the difference between the Farman of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah and Hazri Imam. In reality, if you look at the essence, they both are saying the same things. But somehow, when we look at the wordings, we are very selective in understanding or listening to Farman. Both Farmans has the same underlying prerequisites and expectations. If you're meeting the prerequisite and you sit in Bandagi and you fall asleep, do not think of it as sinning. You sat in the Bandagi, that in itself is a blessing. And Imam is happy with those mominins. Imam says, I urge you not to get discouraged. So this will be our next verse, inshallah. We will talk about it next time. In summary, we just did the first verse, which is Sata Shabad hai Guru Hamara, Taku Lakhe na yo yara. Inshallah, we'll continue our discussion. If friends have any questions, any comments, I'll be happy to listen to that. Taku lakhe na yo sansara. Sata Shabad hai Guru Hamara, Taku lakhe na yo sansara. So we talked about the Isme Azam being the true guide, remover of the darkness. Shukran lillah, walhamdulillah.
हेलो
जी
नियामत बिन कैसा है
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
शुक्र मौला थैंक यू सो मच मेरे को ये काफी अरसे से ये मौका तलाश करना था कि ऐसा टॉपिक इसमें आज़म और ये बैतुल ख्याल का ऐसा कुछ आवे तो हम कुछ शेयर करूँ आपके साथ मेरे बहन
जी जी बिल्कुल
जैसे हमारे बहुत सारे हमारे जमात जो सोचता है कि भाई इसमें आज़म भी लेते हैं हमारे लिए मेरे शख्सी के एक्सपीरियंस बोलता हूँ मेरे लिए जब इसमें आज़म का टाइम आया ये हमको बहुत मुश्किल लगा आपको याद है जब अल्लाह ताला बोलता है कि जब मैंने अपना रूह पेश किया सारे दरख्तों आजिज़ी करार किया फारो सारे नेचर यूनिवर्स सब सिर्फ इंसान था जो उसने कबूल किया तो ये तो हमारे लिए शख्सी तो बहुत खतरनाक ये वो नहीं कि जैसे मुश्किल काम है किसी बंदा मौला की मोमिन इसमें आज़म पहले कबूल करे फिर इसके बाद में अगर वो शिकायत करे ये तो उससे भी बहुत खतरनाक है इन लोगों को ये जबान पे कैसा आ सकता है कि बोलते हैं मैं सक्सेसफुल नहीं हूँ میرے پاس اسم اعظم نہیں ہے، میں نے نہیں کر سکا مولا کے سامنے عاجزی کر کے توبہ کر کے کہ میں یہ اتنا بڑا، میں جیسا کہ موسیٰ کے پیغمبری ماننے کے تیار ہونے کے جیسا، یہی بات ہے نا اسم اعظم مانگنے میں، تو بہت بڑا مرتبہ ہے۔ اور سب سے پہلے آپ اسی جماعت سے پوچھو آپ کتنا آنےسٹ ہے، جو آپ نے کمایا، جو آپ نے کسی کا دل دکھایا، یا اپنا بزنس میں، اپنا کام، اپنا دسون میں کتنا آپ سکسیسفل، اگر آپ سیریس ہے، آپ بہت مضبوطی، کیا بولتے ہیں ایسے ورڈ کو، کہ بہت سنسیئر ہے 100%، تو پھر آپ بندگی کے سوچو، اس کے بعد میں بندگی شروع ہوتا ہے، اسم اعظم شروع نہیں ہوتا ہے۔ پھر اپنا بندگی قابل کر کے آپ کے بعد میں اگر آپ کو خواہش ضرورت آیا، یقین کرو آپ کو سپنے میں بھی اسم اعظم ملتا ہے۔ پھر خداوند وہ امام جو حاضر وقت ہے، اس اتھارٹی ہے اسم اعظم کی، تو پھر آپ یہ ریکویسٹ میں تو نہیں کر سکتا ہوں، جب مر بھی جاؤں، بس یہ مولا کے کرم ہے جب وہ بخشش دیتا ہے نا، وہ آسان کیا ہے، ورنہ اسم اعظم انسان کو، وہ موسیٰ جو کوئی تور گیا تھا نا، تو پار کو کیا ہو گیا، تو وہ عاشر بنیں گا۔ شکریہ۔
سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ۔ تو یہ تمام جو باتیں آپ نے کی ہیں خیر الدین صاحب، انشاءاللہ ہم نیکسٹ کلاس میں بات کرنے والے ہیں۔ جو آپ نے بات کی عبداللہ، کیونکہ ہم غلام ہیں مولا کے، تو بالکل یہ تمام باتیں ہم نیکسٹ ویک نیکسٹ سیشن میں کرنے والے ہیں انشاءاللہ۔ تھینک یو فار شیئرنگ۔
تھینک یو بین، شکریہ۔
جی نائلہ، are you saying something؟ یالی مدد
میں فرسٹ ٹائم جوائن کرتا ہوں نمیات بہن، ٹانزانیہ دار السلام سے، اٹ از پروریا میرا ٹائم ہے صبح کا، تو ویری نائس سیشن، میں انجوائے کرتا ہوں۔ ہر بار میں نہیں کر سکتا بیکاز ٹائم کا ڈفرنس کے لیے، تو اینی چانس میرے کو ریکارڈنگ آئی کین گیٹ ریکارڈنگ، آئی ہیو ہرڈ آن یو آن زوم آلسو، زوم میں پریزنٹیشن پاس میں کلام میں مولا کا کیا تھا، میں میسج دیکھتا تھا، وہ بک آپ نے ریویو کری تھی، واٹ از سول، میں جوائن نہیں کر سکتا، تو اینی چانس کیسے میں یہ نالج۔
موئی صاحب اگر آپ اپنا if you can give your phone number here to Naveen Sahibah, then you can be in the group and you can get all the recordings. See, you will see the number on the screen. If you text
No, the problem کیا ہے کہ میں ہمارا نمبر آپ کا بہت، I can tell you I am blind so I won't be able to type the number on the phone.
Okay,
do
you want me to
can I give you my email or email میں کا تو یہ میرا واٹس ایپ نمبر دے آپ
جی،
تو میرا واٹس نمبر ہے 255 764 899 405 مویز قاسم
جی
پلیز، تو کیپ می ان گروپ میں سب، تو کیا ہوتا ہے کہ میں میرا ٹائم کے لسن کر سکوں۔
ٹھیک ہے بھائی۔
یہ فون میں آج آپ کھانے نہیں گیا تھا تو 4:05 میں آپ کا ان دا مارننگ آپ میں میک پوائنٹ کیا کہ لیٹ می جوائن ٹوڈے، سو شکریہ۔
تھینک یو۔
میں ٹاپک کے بھی سیم ٹائم کا پک کیا، اٹ از ویری گڈ، شکر، تھینک یو ایکسلنٹ، شکر مولا، give bless you نعمت دے ویسے یہ سب سیوا کرنے کی۔
It's Leila.
Yes, Leila. Yes.
Okay. So when we say our ball and we know the meaning of it, so I can keep saying the meaning too. Half the time ball. And also you said your soul can go up. So do you have to concentrate and make your soul go up? Like think that your soul is right here. You imagine that you're going up, like the whole universe is so big, so you can reach up to there. Or is there some kind of chain or what?
So when you say your Isma Azam and you know, if you, let's say it is Yali, so you visualize Yali and you are saying Yali, you know the meaning, you know the meaning in your mind, in your heart. You are saying Yali, 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 Yali. It has to be, we will talk about it then in the next words, because it has to be speedy, right? It has to be in a good quantity. It has to be serial, it has to be very fast, meaning that you don't give any gaps in between so the shaitan can enter any thoughts. It's all about blocking the thoughts and continuously saying the name. You don't have to imagine that you're flying or you're going out, but yes, all those experiences automatically can happen anytime. So we don't sit with an expectations, we sit in humility saying, Mola, I don't deserve it. I just know that I have to do this. I am your slave. I'm going to do it. You give it, Alhamdulillah. You don't give it, Alhamdulillah. We don't expect. When we expect, it becomes like we are greedy. It's like I want something. That's why I'm remembering you. So there's no business there, right? In Isma Azam. You sit in complete humility, complete submission, that it is my duty and I do that with love and affection. You recite that name with such a love in your heart and in such a quantity. It has to be in abundance. And you have no expectations, literally, because to expect, that is a thought too. To imagine, that is a thought too. And we have to block all the thoughts. You sit in peace and just say, that is it, nothing else. And then automatically, if you do that, there are experiences which starts happening automatically. Does that help, Lala?
Very much, Mama.
Malali Mataji.
Rita here. Mama, I just would like to share my experience today. I have been hearing about the Ibadat as well as about Niazam and everything. But every time, whenever we attend the session or when we are listening to the series, it so happens that when you listen it very carefully, it gives a hint to you, some kick to you. So when I interrelated all the things which I have been hearing and which I have been internalizing, I found that today, there was something which motivated me a lot to do Bandi, to do Ismi Azam. So each time when we are doing things, when we are trying to learn, I found out that we need to make connections of the things. And that really motivates us. And it motivated me a lot today doing a Bandi and hearing about Ismi Azam. Thanks a lot, Dharma, for adding to my knowledge, for giving me a beautiful experience.
Shukran,
Thank you
Mola.
so much.
You for a second you scared me because you said you're going to share your experience. I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. But you were saying that this knowledge has helped you to become better in ibadat. It has motivated you to do ibadat. So thank you. Yes, that's the intention. Shukran, Mola. Shukran, Mola. That's a very humbling feedback. Thank you, Rita.
Can I say something, please?
Ji.
Can I say?
Yes, yes.
Hello? Yes. Okay. There's one of Mullah Bapa's Farman. I think it was in 21st July 2011. And Mullah Bapa says, before you sit in Bangi, be careful to say to yourself, I seek spiritual enlightenment through a path which the Imam has indicated to me.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah, yes.
Yes, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Shukr, Allah bless you and reward in plentiful deen and dunya without any suffering and fulfill all your wishes. Thank you.
Shukran Wala. Shukran Wala that you joined. Thank you.
Yes.
Shukran Wala. Anyone else?
यहाँ पर एक क्वेश्चन है,
जी जी.
साथी का सवाल है कि I say so many things as Giriya Wazari asking, Ya Mola, come in my dream, give me light, and then say Dua Noor. So is it all okay to say it before Ibadat? Am I being greedy or am I asking for his mercy?
Subhanallah, very good question. Really, very good question. No, because Dua Nur, let's say example of Dua Nur. We are told this was a practice of Prophet Muhammad. He used to always say Dua Nur after Ibadat time. So it was his practice of the Fajr time. So we follow the practice of our prophets and our peer. We always ask because we are poor, we are needy. But when we sit in Bandagi, we don't sit with expectations. We sit in submission and humility and we say to Mola Baba, it is your wish, Mola. I am your slave. I am here in your court with complete submission and humility, Mola. If you give me, shukr alhamdulillah. If you don't give me, shukr alhamdulillah. You will never find me complaining. I will try and work hard to continue to do bandagi. Continue to meet your expectations. I am your gulam. I hope that helps.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah.
Any more questions? All right then. Thank you so much for sending your questions, your feedback. That helps. Alhamdulillah, we'll meet next time for this session, next session. Today was just kind of introduction. And inshallah, we'll continue to deep dive into this journey. Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Thank you very much, Yari Madad.
Yali Madad.
Yadimada Vaima, thank you so much. Yadimada.
Limited Daima. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mola Baba. We have been plentiful in Din and Dunya without any suffering.
Amen.
Yari Madad.
Yali Madad Meramisa.
Mola bless you always.
Yari Madad. Thank you, Vaima.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.